Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about how we can enhance an Atlas 2-rail O-scale truck. Part of the problem I have when building models a lot of times is getting the body height adjusted so that the couplers are at the right height, and oftentimes there's a lot of variability, particularly with the type of truck you want to use and mount on the underbody of your car. I like the Atlas trucks because they're a good utility truck for general model operations. The new models that they came out with, the number 7065 and the number 7066, have much nicer side frames now. They're narrower, much improved. However, when I use these trucks, a lot of times if you put them under your car, whether it's a new model or one you're refurbishing, the body sits too high. The reason for that is on their particular truck, you'll see that this part right here is what's causing it to be higher. And that's fine for an Atlas model. And the way they develop their model is, if you look at one of their ready-to-run models with the truck installed, this center beam here doesn't go all the way through. Whereas on most models, you have a center beam that runs and you have a body bolster across here, and your truck sits centered right on that spot right there. Well, on the Atlas, they tend to trim it off, and it's actually kind of an upside down part. So what I'm going to show you today is what I use to try to improve upon this truck and to give me a little more flexibility in trying to modify these and make it more operationally better. It looks better, and gives me some room to adjust for the height of the car once I mount the truck to the body. So I'll start out with a truck like this, and you don't have to unassemble the whole thing. You just take out these two screws so you get this middle piece that comes off the truck. That's the first step you want to do. So let's do that. I'll move these out of the way. We're going to set this truck right in front of you, and we're going to take these two screws out. They're very tiny. You don't want to lose them because we're going to reuse them. Keep taking those out. Take the other one, and bingo, it comes out. Screws fall out. You won't need this part anymore. Now you'll notice that the truck has a very tall cylinder here, and what we're going to try to do is at some point grind that down a little lower so it won't hold the body up so high. But in order to enhance this truck, what I've done is I've done some 3D printing, and I've replicated a part that replaces the one we just took off. So that part looks just like this. It'll snap right into place like so. You'll put the two screws in, and when you're all done, you'll notice that now we have about 2.5 millimeters that we can actually take off on this center cylinder, which will let the body lower onto the cross member here, or bolster, of the truck. And if you're going to do any grinding at all, whether it's with a Dremel, please be safe with the safety goggles, or if you're going to try to grind this down really rapidly on say a bench grinder, please do put some heat sink on this middle section here, whether you clamp some pliers on there, because you have some plastic pieces that are the brakes on the underside that would be susceptible to heat, and you of course don't want to heat these springs either. So you have to be a little bit gentle, and in so doing you will get a truck that will help you when you go to actually mount it on the underbody and bring the body lower without sacrificing this detail on your model. Here's an example of some parts that I've developed and I'm using. And again, I've been doing some experimenting and testing to make sure that I have less pain when it comes to final assembly and where my coupler height ends up, etc. Maybe I'll even use some shims. But in any case, these trucks roll real nice. They've got the roller bearings, and I think it pays to try to do some improvement on them. So the next thing I've done to improve on these is on the underside, after I've finished working the top side, and I'm going to trim this back, trim this down, I put in this cross member. On the original truck, there is no original cross member, but it gives you a little bit more detail with a profile, and I end up with a part like this that just literally snaps into place. You don't even have to glue it. I 3D printed it to fit, and if you need to make the hole larger for a larger bolster screw, you can do that too. But I went one step further in case that's not enough for you. You would like a little more detail, so I went ahead and developed the brake beam on the side. So this could actually go into place here and snap into place, and you got a part that gives you some additional detail. Now the finished part of the brake rigging is not on this part yet because I haven't developed it. I'll get to that soon, but when I print these, I print them with support because these rods on the side here that push on the brake, on the brakes themselves against the wheels, are up off the build plate, so they need a little support. When I print, this all comes off. You just peel it off, and you end up with a detailed part like that. So that's what I wanted to show, and I'm going to release this as a kit on eBay, so other modelers can take and try to improve upon these trucks, because there's not much you can do with them as is. And they're great if you're replacing some of the old trucks on the Atlas that didn't have this nicer side frame profile for your 70-ton and 100-ton roller bearing trucks. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and you'll come back and visit us if you like it. Please subscribe, like, share it with your friends, and comment.